Good evening, everybody. It's now 5:45. I'd like to open the ordinary council meeting of Tuesday the 27th of January 2026. In accordance with the Local Government Act of 1993, Cowra Council is live streaming this meeting and it will be uploaded on Council's website. By speaking at this meeting, you agree to being recorded and having that recording published in the public domain. Please ensure that when you speak at Council's meeting, you are respectful to others and use appropriate language at all times. Cowra Council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this meeting. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Wiradjuri people, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We have no apologies or applications for leave, so I'll go to 1.4, disclosure of interest. Councillors and staff, please indicate in relation to any interest you may need to declare. A, what report and item you are declaring an interest in, whether the interest is pecuniary or non-pecuniary, and C, what is the nature of that interest. Councillor Speechley.
Declaring a non-pecuniary interest in item number 5.4, the development application 10.2025.18.1, as I am a board member of Cowra Information and Neighbourhood Centre and would be leaving the room.
Thank you. Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also am declaring an interest in item 5.4. It's a non-pecuniary interest. A family member of mine was involved in preparing the submission and I will leave the room.
Thank you. Councillor Horton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll declare a non-pecuniary interest in item number 5.4. I have a family member that works at the Neighbourhood Centre, so I'll leave the room. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Downing.
I'm not declaring an interest in that one. I'll do something different. I'm declaring an interest in item 5.3, which is the Access Incentive Scheme grant to the Cowra Physiotherapy, as we're long-term clients of theirs, and I'll leave the room. It's non-pecuniary.
Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll jump on the 5.4 bandwagon. As I am the chair of Cowra Information and Neighbourhood Centre, it's a non-pecuniary interest and I will leave the chamber. And look, I also wanted to declare item 4.1, because in the late notes I've just identified that SYNC is donating some funds to the Galari bloodlines. It's a non-pecuniary interest, but I will remain in the chamber for that. Thank you.
We have no presentations.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to jump onto that bandwagon because of similar reasons, because I'm on the board of SYNC. So we'll stay in the room for the 4.1 donation request.
4.1 as well. And staying?
I'll stay.
Right.
Thanks.
Okay, we have no presentations. Confirmation of the minutes. I'll now take a motion to confirm the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 15th of December 2025. Thank you, Councillor Horton. Councillor Kiss. Councillor Horton.
No, not required. Thank you.
Councillor Kiss. Anybody wish to make a comment? Write a reply? Councillor Horton.
Not required. Thank you.
Good. Put the motion. All those in favour? Thank you. 3.1. The suspension of the alcohol-free zone for the Festival of International Understanding. Councillor Kiss. Councillor Downing. Thank you, Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a proposal to suspend our alcohol-free zone for 24 hours in order to have pre-dinner drinks that may be served in the Civic Centre following the Peace Bell ceremony as part of the Festival of International Understanding. As we know, the alcohol-free zone policy helps to support a most socially safe environment, but it has been proven that where it's responsibly monitored for certain celebrations, that an exemption for a certain period can work well. And I did have a question here, which was also then repeated here in the late reports by Councillor Watt, just asking whether we need to actually nominate dates and times for this. If I can ask GM through the chair, please.
Mr. Chairman, my answer is also provided in that late report that I didn't believe there was a need to. Council's at liberty to do so, but I didn't think there was a need to.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Councillor Downing?
Yes, just to say that I agree with this and that the policy was just reinstated in September and it's just part of a procedure to actually ask for this special dispensation.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? Councillor Wright?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I presume, is this just for this year, or is it going to be put on like on dot point 3 where it'll be an annual event and whenever it falls it'll be that day? Because there's no date with it and I wondered why, but then at paragraph 3 we got the annual Christmas Street Festival and Bell Beats Music Festival is suspended for 24 hours. So is this just going to go onto a list for an annual event, or is it only for this year?
Mr Chairman, Councillor Wright's assumption is correct that it's similar to the annual Street Festival, Bell Beats Music Festival, whatever the date is for that event, it would be an annual suspension.
Anyone else wish to comment? You got more, Councillor?
No, I support the concept. I'm just wondering, have we got to notify the police in a certain time when this is going to happen? Like, whenever it just doesn't happen because the festival's on, we'd have to notify what date the festival's going to be on, or?
Mr Chairman, I'm not exactly sure whether there is a requirement. We certainly would, and the dates are known well in advance, so we would certainly be advising the police and seeking their feedback on the suspensions as well.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to comment? Right, a reply. Councillor Kiss?
Not needed, thank you.
Put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Thank you. 3.2, the draft child safety policy. Councillor Watt, thank you. Councillor Kiss, thank you. Councillor Watt?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This is a item that we've discussed a few times over the past couple of meetings, and it's well worthy of that discussion. It's been raised, for background, it's been raised that we would like to have a bit more clarity and a bit more strength around our child safe policy. There are a number of children who participate in council events, council facilities, and on committees such as the Youth Council. And I think it's important that we do this policy right. We put a question last year to the staff to investigate opportunities of strengthening the requirements around working with children check. And I want to thank the staff for taking that time to get in contact with local government New South Wales, who were able to provide us some useful feedback and a suggested amendment. As we discussed before, we are restricted by the fact that people running and elected as councillors are not required to be eligible or to hold a working with children check. But in this way, we have put together some wording to put forward that if you are participating in that activities, you are expected to, and individuals and the council could make decisions about what type of committees or what kind of activities different councillors participate in, where that fits. I think that the way that this has come together is really strong. I think this is really important to go on public exhibition, and I'm sure Councillor Horton and I will be taking it to the Youth Council and to their parents. And I think it might be worth also contacting ex-youth councillors' parents as well to get some insight into, you know, their experience over time with this, so we can make sure we're really setting a good policy going forward. But thank you again very much to the staff for your patience with us on this and working to make it a really strong policy. Thank you.
Councillor Kiss?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Everything that Councillor Watt has said, it is actually great to see that the LGNSW supports the belief of our councillors being to err on the side of caution. Look, to me it just simply makes sense that councillors should be asked, given the opportunity to provide a working with children check. I think that as a society we expect councillors to be of good character. And I also think that as a parent, we just simply expect that councillors, as our civic representatives, are going to be of good character. You know, you just naturally believe that these things will be in existence. of course, I acknowledge that it's not mandatory and therefore support the right to privacy and for councillors to choose not to have one. But it is reassuring to note that we will then have input into, well, perhaps the most appropriate committees and roles for them. So I think it's just a reassurance, not only for council and its liability, but the community at large. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to comment? Councillor Wright.
Yeah, this has been put out for the public to also have input into this, and they might pick up something that we haven't seen, but when you read the policy, it gives you a clear indication of what you need to do when you are working with children and the care you should take. Always try to have someone else there with you when you're in the surrounds of children doing a certain function and so forth. And we head into the area of the unknown now, because I'm not saying that there's people out there trying to set other people up, but these things can come back to haunt us well after the event, and any information we can get and operate under will be a benefit to both the council and their staff. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to comment? Right to reply, Councillor Watt. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Pass. Thank you. We go to 4.1, donation request, Galari Bloodlines, participation at the Queanbeyan and Canberra Connections Knockout. Councillor Kiss. Who's doing it? Councillor Watt. Thank you. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's no doubt that this request for donation of $1,500 by the Galari Bloodlines, or at least the recommendation for $1,500 by Galari Bloodlines, meets Council's donation policy and its eligibility criteria. I do appreciate the extra length they've gone to provide additional information. Clearly, supporting the objective of inclusive participation regardless of factors such as heritage or bloodline, disability, age or financial circumstance. Look, I think we'd all agree, and safely say that, but this is about much more than football. You know, this is a real cultural experience. It's an opportunity for members of our Indigenous community to get together with others and form potentially lifelong bonds. I have no problem with supporting this donation request. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kiss. Very much agree. These events are huge opportunities to demonstrate cultural pride, to have cultural connections, and to display the great talent that comes from Cowra and give people opportunities to go forth. We know that these events can be very expensive. I commend the Galari Bloodlines for seeking funds elsewhere. They've noted in here that they have looked for funds. We know some of that has come from SYNC, and thank you very much to SYNC for supporting that. But I wish them very well and I hope everyone supports it.
Anyone else wish to comment? Councillor Kiss, right of reply.
Not needed, thank you.
Put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Those against? Pass. Thank you. 4.2, donation request, Master Safala Blaisley for attendance at the Barker Academy in Portugal. Spain. Councillor Kiss. Councillor Wright. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. All right, well, hopefully Safala knows where he's headed to. Look, thank you. I would like to thank Hope for coming in and providing a presentation. Very, very heartfelt, very motherly and absolutely touching. Look, I can only imagine the level of pride that you must have for a 9-year-old to have achieved these sort of levels already. I like to think in the terms of our own little Don Bradman. I know it's a different sport. I'm not really sporty, but I do know that it's a different sport. Look, this is such an incredible opportunity, and we like to grow our own. We like to see our young people have opportunities in life that we know will actually stick with them the rest of their lives. I am fully supportive of a donation request of $800, which is in accordance with our policies. Thank you.
Councillor Wright.
Yeah, thank you. Well, this is a application for assistance that really comes out of left field or wherever it might be on the soccer field. Yeah, usually we're the applicant is doing something for the local town, is coming through the local town and doing something, but this fellow has been picked up through another organisation, and it's probably it could be a life-changing activity to be able to attend this this session, and unfortunately it does put pressure on the families to try and meet the obligation to be able to let their child experience what might be in front of them by this. And I do note that they did request more money for this, but under our policy, $800 is what we offer for international international events for attendees, and I hope this helps you get there, and it might show that if the council's willing to accept to provide this $800, other donors within the town or in the community might be able to help you too. And I hope that you can raise the money, and your son gets the utmost benefit from it. Thank you.
Anyone else like to comment? Councillor Downing.
I'm invisible tonight. I was also going to say that I would love to support this. It's incredible that Safala, who's 9, has made this training camp. He's been invited to go. It just shows his achievement, his skills, his talent, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he has a ball when he gets there.
Anybody else wish to comment? Before we go, I'll have a comment. I'm going to vote against this, and it's only fair that you should know why. I just don't think it's a 9-year-old boy flying them halfway around to the other side of the earth. I just don't see it, and that's my opinion for what it's worth. Just an age thing. He'll have plenty of opportunities as he gets older. I'd worry about it then. I reply, Councillor. Where am I up to? Councillor Kiss?
Not needed, thank you.
I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Those against? Just me. I declare it passed. 4.3, Investments and Financial Report. Councillor Kiss. Councillor Watt. Thank you, Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is just a recommendation to note the investment report from December of 2025. As advised, all investments are made according to the Local Government Act. Council has 34 million in its investment portfolio, and 3.4 million of it is unrestricted as the operating capital. I've noted that the current rates and arrears payments are tracking really well in comparison to previous years, and once again thank our residents for their diligence and cooperation in paying their rates. I always prefer to see it that way, in as much as we'd rather see the money go directly back into the community as opposed to money coming in from rates having to then be spent in trying to obtain arrears. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So anyway, thank you.
Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kiss. The interest rates are continuing to do well. We are dropping a bit below average in terms of our long-term interest rates, and that's something we'll need to keep an eye on. We have been very lucky over the past couple of years to be consistently above interest rates for our investments, and we might just be seeing the end of that, unfortunately, but important for us to do whatever we can to try and keep that strong. as Councillor Kiss said, and I think it's really worth noting, congratulations to the team on whatever they're doing differently this year, but the rates recovery is going very strong this time around. Maybe it's just the community wanting to be involved, but that's a really great thing to see coming through. Just very quickly, a query on in section 11. We've got the Yalbalinga Bori Daycare Financial Assistance scheduled as a variation, but that was taken out of the section 356 budget, and other items in that budget are just, well, they're already budgeted for, so I'm just querying why we've highlighted that in the variations.
Sorry, Councillor, could you repeat the question? Didn't
Yeah,
quite follow.
so section 11, where we have the report each month on the variations to the budget, we've listed in those variations the Yalbalinga Bori Daycare donation, which was made out of the section 356 allocation. Is that correct? Yes. And no other section 356 donations are listed there. I'm just wondering why we've chosen to put that in there when it isn't actually a variation to the budget.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to come back to you on that.
Okay. No worries. And as noted at the end of this report, we have a very exciting motion next, which I'm hoping all councillors will support to refinance our loans. As you all hear me say every month, we have a number of loans with quite significant interest rates and quite significant principal outstanding, and I'm very excited that we have a report to try and do something about that.
Anyone else wish to comment? Right to reply, Councillor Kiss.
Not needed, thank you.
Put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Thank you very much. 4.4, loan refinancing initial analysis. Councillor Watt? Councillor Kiss. Councillor Watt?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What was that? No. Thank you, Councillor Kiss. Look, you've all heard me talk about it many, many times, but one of the challenges we have in the way that local council is set up is we do often have to loan finance significant projects. It's something we have done less of in the last couple of years, but as can be seen in our constant reports, it was the choice of strategic investment in the community about a decade ago. The challenging thing, I think, always that you don't realise with loans, when it's a 30-year loan, you can almost pay as much in interest repayments as you pay in the loan itself, particularly when we have rates at about 8%. A couple of years ago, I asked the staff to investigate the opportunity of refinancing because it was my analysis, and I'm willing to be wrong, but this is looking quite positive, that when interest rates were around 8% on some of our loans that still had 30 years to go, and the market rates were about 2% at the time, we could have saved significant amounts of money, even factoring in break costs and costs for us using our cash right now to pay those break fees. Interest rates have gone up a little bit in the past few years, unfortunately, but we can see here in this report that refinancing some of our longer term loans, particularly the loan 244, would have quite a significant impact. We've got here 5.489 million remaining in principal on that loan, with an estimated $3.9 million in interest expected to be paid for that significant project. And it's predicted that refinancing at this point would be a $95,000 benefit over the term of the loan. And I really want to thank the team for pulling this together. We discussed this a year ago a little bit and didn't pull the plug, so looking forward to getting the report back next month. I think even if there's some slight variance in that percentage rate, we're still going to see benefit by making these changes. And I think it's the frame that we need to take to being strategic in our finances. I always think there's no problem in asking. We might as well ask the bank if there's some benefit in refinancing. If they say no, then no harm, no foul.
Thank you, Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to acknowledge Councillor Watt for her dedication in pursuing this particular recommendation. I'm fully supportive of refinancing, if at all possible, and if it is of any advantage. I did note, and it has no consequence on the recommendation itself, but that in the introduction it mentions loans 244 and 249. In the background it says 244 and 299, which and also Cowra Community Centre as opposed to Civic Centre, which I'm presuming are merely typos. But look, overall, I say go for it and fully support. And again, thank you to Councillor Watt. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go any further, I'll ask the Director if he could explain to us how this will actually occur.
Through the Chair. We've spoken with a few of the banks already, and we've received advice from a couple of them that they will not hold an interest rate that's quoted overnight. We would have to receive the quote on the day and accept it on the day. And this is because of the general volatility in the markets at the moment. So in order to carry this forward, it would be most pragmatic to possibly deal with it as an extraordinary meeting around lunchtime on the day is what we would suggest, so that it doesn't interfere with people's calendars too much. However, it isn't an option for us to wait until first thing the next morning, and it is not possible for council's decision making on borrowing to be delegated, so it has to be a decision of council on the actual rate. Thank you.
Thank you. So is everyone clear on that? And are there any other comments, please? Councillor Wright?
Yeah, it's interesting. We've asked this question several times in the 17 years I've been on council, and we always got the answer that what we'd say we'd have to spend in paying the difference back to the bank for the reduction they were going to receive in interest payments, and therefore it wasn't feasible to do it. However, they must have changed their policy, and it looks like it might be able to happen if we ask them on the right day. I presume the money we save will be automatically paid into that loan account to reduce the payments even further, wouldn't they? Or do you intend the money we save will just go into the general account?
Through the Chair, money saved would be dealt with as any other revenue by council, going to the consolidated account and will be distributed according to the budget. So it would just give a little bit more money perhaps to play with.
Yeah, that's, I thought that'd be the answer, but the idea is to get our loan down too, and if we're going to save money, we should be paying it off, that loan, for what we did. And also, I support what Councillor Watt has picked up, that we often pay as much, if not more, interest on loans because we borrow them over 30 years, and a previous director told me that's what councils do. But so we don't change those sort of thinking, and it was highlighted when we went in to borrow money to buy some rubbish bins and the initial sorting infrastructure out there for the recycling project. We're going to borrow 600,000, but we're going to pay 1.2 million in interest over the 30 years. And we definitely need to look at how we do finance our loans and what we do finance them on, and which item can withstand those long-term loans and which can't. The answer that we just received, that we can't make a decision at 5:30 in the afternoon, and the information and the deal wouldn't be able to happen because we couldn't tell the bank on the same day. And it also, we need the approval of council to change these loans. Well, in actual fact, I don't think we get much information about when the loans are set up and how much interest and principal that we will be paying. That's just done by the staff in accordance to putting in place the decision to borrow X amount of dollars for such a function. And I would have thought it would need to be noted somewhere, but if we passed a motion to investigate it and the saving was significant, they should be able to do it on the day. And but apparently that's delegating, and that comes under operational, which but then we haven't got any input into operational activities. But I hope what we pass here today is a benefit to council, but I think the more important thing is to get a clear indication what the actual cost of these projects are when we do borrow a significant amount of money. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to comment? Councillor Speechley?
Sorry, I just an observation, and please correct me if I'm wrong. The savings that we're making is over the full term of the loan, so there's no money available immediately once we do make this change, but it's a saving on the remaining years in payments.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to comment? I'd just like to clarify that if we decide to do this, we will need to get a quorum, 5 councillors here at some time during the day, would be at lunchtime or whatever. We will need to get 5 councillors in order to pass this. So if we only get 4, we haven't got a quorum. So I just want to make that clear, that will be the consequence of, we might not do it on one, we might have to do it on another day when we can get people. So it'll be a bit messy, but hopefully we'll be able to do this. Any Councillor Wright?
Just following up on that question by Councillor Speechley, which was a very good question. Yes, there's no money there, but then the director indicated that the money we save on that loan will go into the general, will be available in the general account for us to spend elsewhere. So I would have thought the budgeted item would be a less expense on the budget, and we would then have to make decisions about what we're going to do with that money. And there's actually no money coming back into the account, there's just less going out. So it's a technicality, but it's a bit hard to play around with money that we don't actually get. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? Right, a reply, Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we get into a little bit of complication here of if we, and please let me know if I'm wrong, but we have fixed rate loans here, and that often means that you aren't able to pay down early, which is part of the complication we would get if we were reinvesting that funds back in. Would that be correct, Director?
That's correct. It's also the case that we'd most likely be seeing a higher rate of interest as well.
Thank you. Yes. So I think, look, it's all complicated. Part of the challenge as well is that we still have around 16 years remaining on this loan. So while 95,000 might sound great in a whole chunk, it's going to be much smaller amounts over each year. But I think regardless, we have through our long-term financial plans, one of the reasons we do that and why we consider this in such detail is that we do consider predicted interest over the period of time. Another one of the reasons why local councils do choose to go for fixed loans when they take them, to have that predictability. And we all know in our long-term financial plan we have substantial loans coming up for the water treatment plant to be considered, and that's something that we've already got factored out of what we think those ongoing costs would be. So this, Councillor Wright is correct that it will just mean that less money is going out of our account, but the outcome of that is that there is more money in the general fund that we can choose to spend how we like. Perhaps there's some consideration whether the council believes that should be factored back into maintenance of the sewer treatment plant or something like that. But as has been noted, it's going to seem like a fairly nominal amount year on year, but add up over 16 years. So I think it's a good outcome, and we all know that we play it fine in what we've got in our budget. As General Manager Devery always says you got to cut something first, so hopefully I've got this one in my pocket for when I ask you for something next.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Pass. Thank you. 5.1, Section 355 Committee Draft Minutes, the Access Committee meeting held on the 15th of December 2025. Councillor Kiss, thank you. Councillor Fagan, thank you. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, I actually do want to just mention a couple of things that we discussed at our last meeting. Our Access Committee was, quite on board right up until the end of the year. It was quite amazing. Firstly was that I had brought to their attention the New South Wales Disability Inclusion Plan, not Action Plan, just Inclusion Plan, 2026 to 2029, just to, I suppose, increase our committee's awareness of where disability inclusion action plans fit into place. Yes, we have our own that looks on a more local level, but the state is also responsible for providing more state level decisions and supporting us in our pursuits as well, which then also linked into another item which comes in at 5.2, because I'd recently read an article where Minister for Transport Catherine King announced that new vehicles will be fitted with an acoustic vehicle alerting system, AVAS, basically meaning that those new vehicles that weren't making any noise are now going to make a little bit of noise. Don't know exactly what it is, but it will be just that little bit of noise. And in particular, why I brought this to the attention of our committee was that it was when EVs started to come out, one of our vision impaired members had said that she'd nearly had a collision with one of these EVs because, she relies on sound when she's walking on the footpath, and quite obviously the vehicle had expected that she might have seen the vehicle coming and allowed it to go. She didn't see it, quite obviously, and had a very near miss. So it's really exciting. These are things that we on a local level can't necessarily change. We can't go and say, all right, all local vehicles, EVs, you need to put a bit of noise in, but it's something that's been identified on a state basis. It was just really good to see that, this is how the process is meant to work, and you know what? Sometimes it actually does. So anyway, very pleasing end of the year for our Access Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Fagan.
I'd just like to congratulate Councillor Kiss and the Access Committee because they seem to be doing a great job of raising the accessibility in our community. So well done, and hope it continues.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick question arising from these minutes. It's stated in the minutes that the Pelican crossing for Kendall Street is not viable. I think reading between the lines, it looks like there was a traffic committee report to the Access Committee. This is one of the ones that Council had passed on. Would we be able to have an update as to why that's not a viable option?
Councillor Kiss.
Yep. Well, quite simply, we were just advised by the O&A when that INO team member, when they came, that it wasn't going to be suitable for the main street. We'd seen them, those flashing lights to, alert people to pedestrian crossings. But what we're advised is, because we were thinking in particular of using it where the Kendall Street, Macquarie Street intersection is, where we know it can get a bit busy and a little bit awkward. But from what we're advised, the Pelican crossings actually only go mid-block as opposed to on corners, if I'm remembering correctly. So it was just simply one of those advice things that we thought, all right, well, we tried and, see, maybe come up with a different alternative down the track. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to comment? Councillor Downing.
I'm just asking a question about the MLAC facility. So does the committee or council have a grant application in mind, and are they going to actually ask for letters of support from the local disability organisations?
Councillor Kiss.
I'm thinking, Mr. Mayor. I do know that the Access Committee was actually asked for another letter. We had put in a letter previously for the grant application that came in before. So quite simply, it was pretty much just an updated version of the one that we'd provided before. honestly don't know what other organisations were asked to provide letters, and I didn't think to ask. Sorry about that.
Thank you. You're happy, Councillor Downing? Yes. Yep. Councillor Wright.
Yeah, just a question on 5.2, new EV and hybrid rules. Does that cover those little gophers or whatever they're called that are a very big hindrance and footpaths and everywhere, that more so than vehicles on the road?
Through the chair, we're not aware of them extending to the mobility scooters that are used on the footpaths and that at this point in time.
Thanks, Director. In that case, I think I'd ask the Access Committee to look at that and deliver a pathway of bringing those mobility vehicles under a law where people can hear them, because at least with and with those scooters too, people are just use them on the footpaths or in buildings, and you don't hear them at all. And some of those little scooters go quite quick on the footpath, and the people riding them do not think about other people. Thank you.
I would also comment that e-bikes make no noise and come up very quickly behind you too. All these e-things at the moment, they've got their cons, but they've got their pros. So it's things that are going to have to be dealt with as time goes along. Anybody else wish to comment? Right, a reply, Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you to the councillors for their questions. And for Councillor Wright, I'm very happy to take that back to our Access Committee and just say, what do we think? And is there any way of then, I mean, it would have to be obviously a state government decision, but for us to have a bit of a look and investigate and see if there is any opportunity or any solution. I do agree, the e-things and the noiseless things, yes, they can definitely come and creep up on you. So very worthwhile topic to look more into. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. 5.2, development application 1.02025 114.1 Lot 1 DP 516-92631 Burke Street, Cowra, Carport, lodged by M.A. Smith. The property owner is M.A. Smith and M.J. Mulquinny. Councillor Fagan and Councillor Kiss. Thank you, Councillor Fagan.
This is This is generally something that would be decided by our staff, but because of a variation to the DCP, it has come to us. It is actually a carport in Burke Street in front of a house. The variation is a change to the amount from 6 metres to 7.4 metres in front of the house. It has been well assessed. There is no other. It's consistent with the objectives that are in the DCP. Does not encroach on any properties, and it has also been no other complaints have been received. The carport is consistent with what the buildings around it and the carports around it, and I believe that we should just send it back to the Department of Planning and say thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, as Councillor Fagan said, it's very much a common sense approach to weather protection. There's currently 2 cars parked on the concrete slab. Our DCP says that it can only be 6 metres wide, and in order to cover 2 cars, it makes sense to have it at 7.4. Yeah, fully supportive of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? Right, a reply, Councillor Fagan.
Not necessary, thank you.
Put the motion. All those in favour? It's a DA. Thank you very much. Passed. 5.3, Access Incentive Scheme Grant, Cowra Physiotherapy, 12 to 18 Young Road, Cowra. Councillor Kiss. Sorry, Councillor Watt. The Daily Double was already on. Seconder, please. Councillor Kiss. I knew I had that right. Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I prefer the dream team. I think that's a better term for us. Getting us through council meetings. So we, for our community who might not be aware, Cowra Physio approached us last year with the issue that they were being required to leave their current premises and were struggling to find a location to move into. We're very excited to see that this partnership with Gumbaya and the Cowra Local Aboriginal Lands Council is going ahead. It's a great way for the community to come together to continue to make sure such an important healthcare service is provided locally. And I think this is a really great way for council to contribute to that project going ahead, both to a long-standing physical location that will continue, I'm sure, to provide healthcare and community services for a long time to come, as well as to Cowra Physio, who we know are essential to many in the community. I think it's a great thing that they are moving into a more accessible location, particularly for the type of clientele that I'm sure they see every day. I don't know how you'd go if you twisted your ankle or put your hip out or something and you were trying to get up the stairs at the moment. So this is really exciting, and I think this is one of the reasons we have these access incentive schemes, so we can support people in becoming compliant. We know it's such an expensive thing to do. All they need to do to be compliant is one access ramp, and it's taking up quite a significant portion of money. So wholeheartedly behind this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Watt. Yes, very much on the ball there. And look, I think it's just exciting to see all of the properties that we've been able to support in making more accessible over the years. It's just great to see. It's slow going, but it's all making a difference. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to comment? Councillor Wright.
Yeah, thank you. I support this. I did raise a question. It appeared the local Aboriginal Land Council chairman was signing the application, and that was clarified by the director, and that the owner of the building has to sign the application, but the applicant is Mr. Mark Gillum on behalf of Cowra Physiotherapy, and the important thing is what is done there stays there, so the building will have good access into the future. And if the current tenant moves elsewhere, and I presume that everything inside the building is accessible, and that's the tenant's responsibility, and but it meets all the other guidelines that such a building would need when it is being renovated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? Right, a reply, Councillor Watt.
Not needed, thank you.
Put the motion. All those in favour? All right. It's not a DA, is it? So, no. Okay. Passed. Thank you. Can we get some in and some out? The next one is 5.4. Uh, 5.4 development application 10.2025 lot 2 DP 603 501 7 Vaux Lane, Cowra, change of use of a dwelling to community facility and addition of an activity room, lodged by Cowra Information and Neighbourhood Centre Incorporated. The property owner is Cowra Information and Neighbourhood Centre Incorporated. I will move that a motion to defer this. There are irregularities in the plans that were supplied to us. I'll move a motion that that we defer this till next month so we can get clarification of those plans.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I think those of you that had a look at it would found it very difficult to understand the plans. I couldn't get my head around it. The director has said we'll come back with a fresh set and discuss it next month. Anyone wish to comment? Councillor Fagan, you're first.
Just that it is quite a complicated application, and I think it does need some clarification. I had a look at it, and I know the site, and I know vaguely what they're trying to do, but it was a very difficult application. I think it would be better if we had some clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? I don't need to write a reply, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Pass. Thank you. Can we get everybody back in? Come to that one. We're all back. We now come to 6.1, which is new for all of us. This is the late reports, and this refers to any queries that council has made since the papers went out have to be made public. The same as we've got the information, public have to have the information. So they've been uploaded onto our website, and now they come as late reports here today. So I suppose I need a motion to accept them.
I'll move the.
The recommendation is that we note the responses provided to questions raised after the agenda was published.
I'll move that.
Councillor Fagan, thank you. Councillor, I was choosing Councillor Downing, thank you. There was a race on there. Councillor Fagan.
As you just mentioned, this is part of our new code of conduct and meeting procedure, and although it is slightly annoying, we just have to do it, and it's hopefully somebody higher up than us will think it's a mad idea as well and not do it again. So anyway, this is part of what we have to do. It's open and above to the, I don't know who's going to read it, but anyone who's interested is able to now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Downing.
Yes, this is part of our new rules, but it's actually quite interesting. The community will get to see what we ask the directors and the general manager before the meeting, and they'll get our answers, so they'll know how we come to the decisions we make in the room. So I think it's a great thing and great transparency. So happy to do it.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to comment? Councillor Wright.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, this is a new thing, and it appears the people that don't stand for election have more rights than the people that do stand for election and are successful. I do congratulate the staff on actually putting the accurate email to the person that made it together, so that it is accurate information. I would it would be difficult. I suppose we'll have to put listening devices on phones now, that if we ring you with a phone question, it will have to be written down, and the answer written down too, and so the list goes on. And I presume if we just have a verbal question, that will also have to be documented. I'm being very anal here, but this is what this new meeting practice laws are, and they are disgusting. And there's I know we shouldn't look at social media too much, but there was a report on what the Minister in Parliament said about these meeting changes, how great they are, and we need to tidy up local government, because it is the most corrupt form of government in Australia, and the people in the elected members in council, in the councils are always doing something wrong. It's a pity he doesn't look in the mirror occasionally and see what his own people do and what the federal people do. Also, he said we do need a better meeting practice, and I wrote to that feedback and asked the question, would we use the federal government's question time as a very good template for a meeting practice? And I did not get an answer, so I don't know how we're supposed to operate. We're just being given a hiding, and this, I've gone off on a tangent, but we shouldn't have signed this bit of paper to operate under these, because it's a big step backwards in how a council's run. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. And if you have a look at the first one on the first page, you'll see that you're correct. It was an inquiry from Councillor Watt, and it was on the phone. So that's exactly the case. All queries will now be registered and in the public domain. Anyone else wish to comment? Councillor Kiss?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, I certainly don't have an issue with it. I agree with Councillor Downing in as much as it's transparency, so it's got to be reassuring for our community. We've got nothing to hide. You know, we have a very well-run council. My only hope that it's not too onerous on our directors and their staff. But I'm very supportive of continually noting what has been said. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? Councillor Wright, can you turn your speaker off, please? Right, a reply, Councillor Fagan.
Just to say that it is very open and above board, but I am still believe that it is onerous on our staff, and for everyone to record every phone call and every email that they get, it is very difficult. I mean, and as you can see, none of the items that we bring up are not brought up in the chamber later anyway. So I think it's like double handling of our inquiries, because we bring those things up and we can ask those questions in the chamber, and we always do. So I think it's double handling of things that we would normally get a response to. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Right. We will now go to confidential matters. This is 8.1 from the Director of Infrastructure and Operations, and 8.2 request for tender. These matters are considered to be confidential under section 10A2DI of the Local Government Act, and Council is satisfied that discussion of these matters in an open meeting would on balance be contrary to the public interest, as they deal with commercial information of a confidential nature that would, if disclosed, prejudice the commercial position of the person who supplied it. Can I have a mover to do? Thank Councillor Fagan. Councillor Horton, thank you. Councillor Fagan? No. Councillor Horton?
No, not required.
Anyone else wish to comment? Right, a reply, Councillor Fagan. Not required. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Pass. Thank you. I'll get them to turn off.